that I think we overlook so much and is, as most of my students know, a real big deal with me. Trills are always, trills always have to be very energetic. They are a thing. They're a very kind of dynamic, active ornament. And so I love the fact that you kind of led them to that. There was sort of like a delivery there with the left hand that sort of said, do it. Bernstein would sort of do everything, like play the trill for them or crash the cymbals and that kind of thing, but we don't need to be that extreme. But definitely, it was clear what you wanted, and those trills just kind of like sprang to life in a way that sort of been handled differently to that point. So that was excellent, and I think it's well worth kind of noting that for sure. Grosso.
Another thing that I thought was really effective was, especially before the allegro of the trill, right, the measure before the allegro, so measure 11, you gave kind of like a break, so it didn't rush right into the allegro, and typically like it rushed right in, so it almost felt like it didn't have enough time.
Right, and of course there are different ways of handling that interpretively. I mean, what did he mean? Is it sort of just kind of like the tiniest breath? Do you kind of subtract the length of that from the dotted half note and then kind of like leap straight in? Or do you actually take some time there? And of course, if you think about it, to actually sort of reset the fingers and everything else as you come out of that trill, you do need a little time there to actually kind of get back to a clean start at the beginning of the allegro. So it was excellent to take that time there. Anything else?
I was just going to say, like, at the beginning of the allegro, like, it really felt happy. Like you made me want to smile. You made me want to, like, play. And so then I start smiling and playing it, the way that you intended. Like, you really conveyed, the emotions that you felt with this piece I thought very well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a very clear communication in just the frame and the face, I think, that you're actually really quite good at, that does communicate that, I think.
Especially when it's small, it's easy.
Yeah, for sure. Further away, yes. The other thing that I thought worked very well for you was, let's see, yeah, you're not Roderick. You're not sort of like 8 feet tall. So you actually use your height very well to control some of the dynamics. There were some of those echo effects where you could sort of retreat, but you sort of cheated your height just a little, and then you came back. And there it was, and there's like another kind of 6 inches there, and you kind of fill the frame a little better, and they responded to that. And so I think quite often, we did sort of some of that posture stuff at the very beginning of the clinic, about rolling your tailbone under and all that kind of thing. But sort of you can be sort of relaxed cocktail party stance, apart from that, or you can sort of be kind of much fuller height, and it does give you that extra kind of vertical room to kind of communicate those things. So I thought that was really quite excellent as well. So lots of good things there. Anything from the class? Marva?
I could have done with more eye contact. You were very good at certain places looking up, but when you were trying to shape the phrase, your eyes were always downward. So I think if you were looking at the people with the melody or looking at who was transferring, the phrase would come out even better. I mean, you did a great job, but I think the eye contact would help a lot.
Let's hear from Roderick, and I want to come back to that briefly. Roderick?
Yeah, wonderful with your spirited gestures and whatnot. I would like to see, there were some nice lines in the basses and cellos that were important, and that could have been more encouraged. Sometimes we tend to pay too much attention to the divas, the violins.
I mean, we said at the beginning, actually, with the orchestra, that one of the really nice things about this literature is that, unlike so much of the wind ensemble literature that is so carefully nuanced and sort of directional and all that kind of thing, it's so clear what the composer wanted where in terms of foreground, midground, background most of the time. in this sort of repertoire, you can choose to bring out, you have those moving quarter notes in the viola and kind of like make those the anchor points to sort of more active things in the upper strings. And so you kind of play around with what you want in the foreground at any given moment. Because it's not terraced in terms of the dynamic, and it's a uniform color as well. So I mean, I would feel very free to pick up on Roderick's point. Back to Marta's point very quickly, just to finish. I think part of what you're seeing there, I see as your kind of just really innate and very well cultivated and convincing sense of musicality. Because it's right here for you. You know exactly what you want, but that's also translating in part to you kind of enjoying it and keeping it to yourself. But really, really quite fine. Okay, thank you.